that doubt, any criticism, anything in my life, I automatically set myself up in my brain for failure. I was going to fail at some point. I had to figure out why I felt that way. Well, why are you doubting yourself in this situation?
Because you always had to prove yourself in your situation, you had to prove yourself to your mom worthy of her attention over some random fucking dude.
Right. But when it came to work and things like that, when I would feel like criticism, I didn't take well because I would get angry about it and I would start doubting everything. But what the root cause of that was feeling like a failure, being scared of failing when I had worked so hard for something, not being good enough. And that all of that stuff is it's literally practice. You have to practice. We call it the Sausha stop sign.
Yeah.
Because
throwing the bones.
In order for me to be cognizant of it. So the second I would feel anger, I would literally picture a stop sign in my head. Stop. Why do you feel this way? And sometimes it would take me 10, 15 minutes to get there. It doesn't take me quite as long anymore, but it still takes some time. But what am I actually reacting to? Because that self-doubt is built in from personal experience. It's built in because that's how our brains are wired. But typically that self-doubt that steps on you and squashes shit for you before you even start is something else.
Yeah.
Something else in your life that you've experienced that your brain's like, nope.
And that's the hard thing, because sometimes we experience things that change us that we don't even remember because our brain has shut them away from us.
Yes.
Like that's hard too. Yep. So you talk about doubt. Like for me, failing, for the longest time, failing was my biggest fear. And I was very that's anytime I was in a job interview, what's your biggest fear of failure?
Yep.
Like on the surface in my 20s, I was crushing it. I was 24 years old and I was a music director at a fucking radio station. I had the afternoon show. I'd been out of college for 3 years.
Yeah.
Like I had fucking a full slate of endorsements. I was getting paid to travel. I was fucking partying with musicians and getting paid to be drunk and all this awesome stuff. Yeah, I always wanted to be a rock star, but I was never a good enough musician. So I lived my rock star lifestyle in my fucking 20s as a raging alcoholic in radio. But I remember my first full-time job. I was there for, I don't know, probably like a month and a half, and I didn't hear a lot of like feedback. So I went in one day for lunch, and we call it doing an air check. So you have your boss listen, you record your air breaks. So when we talk between songs, that's what we call a break. You record your breaks and then you save them on at that time it was a CD. You burn them on a CD. Now it's just saved on a logger and a fucking hard drive in your stack of equipment in your engineer's office. But so they listen to your breaks and then they give you feedback so that you know what to change, what crutches you're using or things like that to help keep people listening, because time is money. So we had my first critique, and it wasn't even that bad looking back at it. The things he told me weren't at all mean, but I was so used to being cut down by like vicious critiques from my family that I didn't know how to take constructive criticism. And it fucking crushed me. Yeah. I held it together. I didn't cry. I fought back tears the entire time after he told me that critique, and he went to lunch. And as soon as my boss left the building, I went downstairs to the bathroom and I cried because I felt immediately, I was destroyed over at, like, looking back at it, it wasn't anything major. Like, it's things that I would tell somebody too, like, hey, this was really great, but you need to work on this, or this. And I didn't really care for how you did this. Maybe rework it this way, but I didn't see it that way. I heard it as, you're fucking terrible. Quit your job. What are you doing with your life?
Right.
Like, that shit's hard to shake.